Margareta. Good. So I'm glad you could all join us, whoever could. And today we're going to continue in our orientation program. And the subject that today I'm going to, present is relationships and emotions in caregiving work. If you could turn your microphone off, that would be helpful. Thank you.
Huh?
Yes. Mics. Yes, good. Okay, so we can all hear. And I think we all know that our work as caregivers is basically emotions. I say again that our personality and our, people skills and so on is basically the basic tools of our caregiving work. Those are the things we put in our toolbox. And so we want to be minded, and let's think about what all of that involves. So what is care? The word care has a double meaning. On the one hand, it emphasizes care activities such as bathing, dressing, or feeding someone. On the other hand, care is also feelings of concerns such as caring or affection from the caregiver towards the patient. When we care about someone, we usually feel commitment and responsibility towards him. So this is very complex because, I've said this before, the kind of role that you're going to be presented with as a caregiver in a live-in situation is so different than the caregiving jobs that perhaps you've encountered in the past, where you have a job, you go there, you do what you need to do, and you go home. Here, it's a different kind of a role. And it's a role that you're going to have to build together with your employer, and I stress his family, okay? We talked about expectations yesterday, but today I want to emphasize the emotional aspects of our work. Care work has been defined as work that provides services based on sustained personal interaction and is motivated by concern about others. Care work involves creating a relationship with your patient and his family. Relationship is the way in which two or more concepts, objects, or people are connected or are in the state of being connected. So again, you have to be minded about taking the initiative to build that relationship, in spite of the fact that you're the new person in town and you're the stranger, the outsider. But yes, take the initiative. Ask to be, part of, perhaps, like I said, if there's a family WhatsApp or Viber group or something, so that every once in a while you can put in a message, perhaps every Sunday or every Friday, we had a good week, we did this, that, and the other, come visit, whatever, all of those things are very important that you be part of, right? The team that cares for this person. And also an opportunity to recruit help, okay? If you're part of the team, then they would also be there for you if you need something on a personal basis or in your work. Interpersonal relationships, okay, is an association between two or more people that may range from fleeting to enduring. This association may be based on care, solidarity, regular business interaction, or some other type of social commitment. The relationship you create with your patient and his family is an interpersonal relationship. We all know how important it is to be in good relations with everyone in our work situation, and I stress that you need that in order to do your job properly. You can't feel alone in the situation that you're in. So it is, yesterday I talked about expectations and so on, and forming a contract perhaps. But you also have to be minded and sensitive and listen and try to understand what their expectations are from you in terms of the role that you're going to be taking in that home. Some families, say, oh yes, you eat with us, you're part of the family, this, that, and the other, what do you need, and so on. Other families may feel differently. You're the caregiver, you sit on the side, You don't participate. You're there to watch and, in case they need you. And that's okay too. But, you have to be minded and go with the atmosphere that's appropriate in that situation. Meaning and importance of relationships. The relationships provide the opportunity for three key benefits: exchange of support, social engagement, and a sense of worth. Exchange of support, this is obvious. You need them, they need you. This is a common, seesaw kind of thing. Both sides of the equation are equal in terms of needs and also in terms of social engagement. This is going to be your social engagement unless you have a day off, obviously. And then but try to make friends, neighbors, people on the street, someone in the supermarket, when you're going out in the garden or in a park, you'll probably encounter other caregivers, perhaps from the Philippines, perhaps from some other places. Try to build relationships, around you in any situation that's possible. Very important that you are minded about having a sense of worth for yourself and also for your employer. Everybody needs to feel that they are doing that they're worthwhile. You need to know that you're doing a good job, and hopefully the family and your employer specifically will know how to give you that feeling, right? Not just by giving you your salary, but by saying thank you and that you do a good job and so on. And also, they also need to feel a sense of worth, right? That they're being appropriately interacting with you. All major ingredients for the foundation of well-being and both sides of a relationship. Now, about how people show their appreciation varies between family and between individual and individual, right? Some people will continuously tell you all day long, I love you, thank you, you're wonderful, while others may give you a smile of appreciation every so often. And, that's how they show their appreciation. So you have to be minded for, the little gestures as well as the big ones. Components of a relationship. On the surface of a relationship, there are needs, desires, and abilities on both sides. Under the surface of a relationship, there are expectations, knowledge, and emotions. On the surface of a relationship, let's talk about the needs. Both the caregiver and the patient have needs. Needs for listening, for attention, for honesty, and for feeling respected, okay? I'm sure that everyone, no matter, what side of the work equation they're on, needs to feel that they're being trusted, that they have, that if you need something, that you will be provided with that. And honesty and respect, this is on all sides of any equation. Both sides have desires. Both the caregiver and the patient have desires for listening, attention, honesty, and feeling respected. And also abilities. Both the caregiver and the patient have abilities to listen, respect each other, not to mention, all other types of abilities. Perhaps your employer has, a lot of education and a lot of experience in different kinds of fields. And this is an opportunity for you to learn something new, to be exposed to new things. Take advantage of that. And also you have your whole world of, of experiences and so on, and culture. And it would be a wonderful exchange to learn from each other and to be exposed to each other's world. Under the surface, there are expectations, okay, to be treated well and to be involved. There's knowledge. Both caregiver and patient have knowledge how to do your job well, right? And emotions. Both caregiver and patient have emotions, negative and positive, okay? Very important that you are minded about the emotions that that take over in your employer's life and also your own emotions. Everybody feels sometimes lonely, feels longing for family, friends, a life they've left behind. In that sense, you may have a lot of things in common with your employer, and hopefully he can in some way show you how he deals with those issues. And of course, you must learn ways that will keep you energized and deal with those emotions. It's very important that you take care of yourself. You know, just like on the flight here, probably the flight attendant went through the routine of explaining what to do in case of an emergency. And so before you put the mask on, you know, the oxygen mask on someone sitting next to you, if they're disabled in some way, you put it on yourself first. Because if you're not strong and you're not fit and you're not emotionally balanced, then you can't do your job properly. So this is our purpose, to care for the caregiver, right? You have to be strong physically and strong-willed. Okay, the connection between the two layers of a relationship's needs, desires, abilities, expectations, knowledge, and emotions are on both sides, the caregiver and the care receiver. Care work is emotional work. I think we all know that. Care work is often defined as emotional work. I can't imagine anyone doing this kind of a job. You know, we're not cab drivers, we're not technicians. This is our job, to care not just physically, but we have to care emotionally for our employer and do everything that we do with our full hearts, body, and soul. But also we have to know how to put borders. Okay, sometimes our employer is very, very disabled, and he's going through a very difficult time in his life. Obviously, not everyone can do this, what you're doing, to accompany people, strangers, through this difficult time, the end of their life perhaps, and so on, and be caring and loving and kind and respectful. All of those things are not everyone can do. Sometimes even their family can't do that. And so this is an important job. And on the other hand, you have to have some kind of borders up to where you allow yourself to be emotionally involved, right? We can't collapse with our employer as well. We need to be strong for them emotionally. So everybody has to find the line of where their own personal self is and where they present themselves emotionally to their employer and his family. You know, I see that most of you are fairly young people, and from what you've said so far, that you don't have a lot of experience in this kind of a situation, especially a live-in situation. This is probably new for almost all of you. And I just want to share something with you. When I was a very young social worker, I worked in a neighborhood, in a school where I lived. And at first I thought that would be an advantage. You know, I would walk to work and so on. But I have to tell you that after a very short period of time, I understood that for me at that point in life, it was a disadvantage, because I needed, and I didn't know how to make the separation between how involved I was emotionally at work and when I needed to step out and have my own personal life. I had to move in the end. I was very young. I didn't know how to do that. So this is why I'm taking the time to talk about this with all of you. You're even more involved. You're living there. It's not like you can step out and go home and say, okay, close that door. Now I'm in my own life. But you must find a way to do that and a certain level, okay, of your time. So define with your employer where your privacy begins, right? If you have hours where you can just be on your own, do something for yourself, work on project, perhaps pray, be in touch with family and friends, meditate, listen to your own music, right? So you have some time on your own. Very important to know how to put the borders, go in and out in a situation where there is not a lot of opportunity to be out. Emotion work can be defined as work that involves emotions that arise from work, okay, that requires to express emotions. It can also be defined as management of one's own feelings or work done in an effort to maintain a relationship. It is only natural that during the caregiving work, different and varied emotions will arise, both positive and negative. Each emotion is legitimate. We're all young people, you have a lot of energies, and I think it's important that you learn, find a way to channel those energies in a positive way to keep yourself, strong. If maybe write a blog, maybe, whatever it is that takes that is appropriate for you to share. Along with the emotions you have towards your patient, remember to be self-compassionate towards yourself. It's important to recognize your emotions, identify them, and give them space and knowledge. If you feel any negative emotions, do not suppress them. Do not be left alone with your feelings and emotions. You can always find someone to talk to, friends, family, or the agency. This is very important. Don't be alone with, if you have a bad day, you're sad, something at home didn't go right, someone there turned your emotions into a negative space or whatever, don't be alone with it. Find someone to talk to, share with the family you're with if you can, or perhaps a friend, or if necessary, the social worker in the agency, or see me, okay? Write a message and you will be contacted. Don't be alone with your issues, okay? Tips for creating good relationships. Be mindful of how you start a conversation. This is very important, right? Ask open questions. Use the I statement. I spoke about that before. Say what you mean and mean what you think and say it. Be specific in the message that you want to transfer, right? English isn't necessarily a good language for all communication. So be specific, use simple words, short sentences, one message at a time, and give others the attitude that you want to receive. I think this is very important, right? We all want to be treated respectfully with kindness and understanding. So I invite you to share with us. We're a small group today, and it would be, just nice to talk a little bit. What are your expectations from the relationship with your patient and his family? What do you think your patient's expectations are from you? What feelings do you think may arise during caregiving work? How do you usually express feelings? And how do you feel in general about care work? So this is kind of an opportunity to get to know each other. And if you would like to share what you're thinking, it would be really nice to have a short discussion. Today, we're going to have a short session as it is, because like I said, we usually have a guest that won't be joining us today. So we'll have a kind of a shorter session. We won't have an intermission. Jesse, what do you think? I see that you're attuned to me today. What kind of expectations do you have from the relationship that you're going to be having with your employer?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Good morning. Where are you going to be stationed? Do you know? In what city?
Ashkelon.
Ashkelon. Oh, that's a nice place. Okay. And who will you be caring for?
Jeremy Charles Setbon.
It's a man?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And how old is he?
23 years old.
How old?
73.
73. Okay.
Yes.
In Israel, we have a very long life expectancy. So when you say 73, basically it doesn't necessarily mean that he's old, but perhaps he's not well physically, right? He's ill, I assume. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Ashkelon is a lovely place. It's on the sea. So yeah, beautiful beaches. So what do you think? What kind of relationship do you think you're going to have with your employer?
So I am excited to be at their home, to be free from this isolation.
Fresh air. Yes.
Yeah. To meet
O-
some new foods and companion
Okay.
environment, and overall, I can start or I can begin my work. So I believe that I can give them the best of my ability in caring for the patient. I
Okay.
have been
So do you have experience in caring for disabled people?
not yet, mom, because I'm working and uh, in a hospital before.
Okay. So you know about people, how they are, how they look, how they feel if they're disabled. Yes. Okay.
Yes, but not that long because patients in hospital are just come and go.
Come and go.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
But I have opportunity to show my care to our patients because we are tend to give them care emotionally and physically.
Okay. So when people come to the for short-term care, they're usually very stressed. So it's, important to try to calm them down, right?
Yes. Um,
Okay. And in your family, have you had the opportunity to be around someone who's, old in a long term?
Unfortunately, not because my mom and dad are away from our house
Where do they live?
in the Philippines, but in Mindanao, but we are living in Cebu.
So
So
that's like, so you don't see them very often.
yeah,
I see. Okay. Okay. So this is going to be a new kind of experience. And
yes,
are you going to be caring for a man who's living alone, or is there other family members in his home
living alone, mom.
living alone?
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Good luck to you. And I hope that it will be as you expect it to be exciting, interesting. Ashkelon's a lovely place.
Yes, because maybe the special work that because in our contract I saw there what is my special task. Uh, it was stated there that driving. So I also excited driving in Israel.
Oh, really? Oh, wonderful. He
Yeah,
expects you to drive him around. Wow. So
yeah, maybe.
you're going to have an exciting job
Yeah,
learning. Okay. And you have a driving license, I assume.
yes, ma'am.
Interesting. Okay. So you're going to have an interesting opportunity. Yes.
Yes.
Wonderful. Oh, that sounds nice. Sounds very nice. Okay. Anyone else would like to share their expectations about what's coming ahead? Do you have any questions, by the way, Jesse, about anything at all?
None so far. We're very thankful for your support on
Okay.
behalf of the caregivers because we did not expect that we are as a caregiver we are cared much like this, maybe unlike other country that we are well informed of our rights and obligations. So we're
Well,
thankful.
we need caregivers. This is a big problem for Israeli old people. We're a young country. We're a lot of old people and don't have, other options. Well, we have other options, but this is a good one. Having a nice caregiver living at home is a treat for most
Yes.
people. And I hope this will be as a successful adventure for you as well. Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
Anyone else like to share what they're going to be doing, where they're going to be? Nicole, how about you? Nicole Kate, is that right? You want to open your microphone and share something? That would be nice. No, you're shy. I see your finger going for the mic. Go ahead, open it up.
Maybe Nicole
Hi.
Kate, maybe I used my my
You
daughter's
used her.
account.
I see. Okay, so that's what's showing on the screen here. So what is your name?
Salve.
Salve. Okay, Salve. Nice. So talk to us a little bit. Where are you going to be? Working where? Which
Yeah.
city?
Yodpa. I don't know where is it.
Where?
Yodpat.
Yotfat?
Yodpat.
Oh,
Yes.
that's in the south. Okay. That's a kibbutz, I think.
Far.
And okay, that would be an interesting experience. Yes.
My patient is
What do you know about your employer? Can't hear you.
a man.
A man.
Living
Oh,
with it with his wife.
okay, so it's a man living with his wife. So, okay.
Wife.
And do you have experience
Yes.
taking care of elderly people in your past?
Yeah,
Yes?
I was working hospital in
Okay.
the Philippines, Manila.
Okay. And you're okay about taking care of a
I-
man and a woman. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So this will be an interesting experience for you. They say,
Yes.
two is a good number, three sometimes isn't, but hopefully you'll know how to manage that new interaction between the two and you in the middle. Okay. Things that we talked about before, right? Being sensitive to the interaction and how the combination changes when you enter. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, your chat should be an interesting experience. It's in the
Yeah, I
south.
will try my best here.
What?
I will try my best here in Israel.
I'm sure you're going to be doing just fine. Because
Thank you.
Israel is a very unique kind of a place in the sense that it's such a small country, but we have such a varied terrain between the north and the south. We have desert, we have forests, we have beaches, we have, large modern cities. It's, it's a combination of many, many things in such a small space. Okay, thank you for sharing that. Are you concerned about the fact that there's a couple there, or you're okay with that?
I'm okay with that.
You're okay. Good. Good
It's
for
not
you.
a problem.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to ask a question or share something about what they're expecting from the relationship?
Hello, ma'am. My name is
Hi.
Chris.
Hi, Chris.
The place that I will work is in Sidrot.
Sderot. Okay.
Yeah. So,
And who will
which
you be
is near
caring
Gaza.
for? Right, near Gaza, yes. Are you concerned about that?
Little bit when I don't know how the border and the Palestine rocket fired, but we have the what we call this how to interrupt the rocket, right?
Right. Okay. So you
Intercept,
brought up an interesting an interesting issue. Okay. So I will tell you also Ashkelon in the past, Ashkelon is also kind of south, and also Yotzfat, that's a little bit more out of range, but you never know. You know, politics in Israel is something that you're probably not familiar with, this kind of tension, you know, in the Philippines. Obviously, no one throws rockets on the Philippines. And so this is an issue that's going to be a bit stressful for you in the beginning. But I just want to tell you something in general, okay? First of all, objectively, we are all very safe. You know that the Israeli army and Israeli technology is the best in the world. and so far, I can't tell you what's going to happen in the future, but so far, all the citizens are very, very much protected. Like you said, we have the Iron Dome around us, you know, that reflects all of the rockets if they decide to shoot rockets on us. And every home has a shelter that you enter, and you have enough time. We have a warning system that gives everyone enough time to get to their proper shelter. So thank God, you know, God's watching over us, I think. So far, you know, if there has been any casualties or damage, it really is very minimal, nothing to compare to, you know, the options. And you follow, what you're told to do. You know, the National Guard gives us instructions, and we do what they say. And so far, everything has been relatively, you know, okay. I think that, you know, you have to take into account, and you're going to learn this as a new experience for all of you. I lived as a young woman in America, and I came to Israel when I was in my early teens to study at the university. And it was a time where Israel was at war. You know, we have all of these continuous episodes of right out war. And my family was so concerned about me being in this kind of a place. And I felt very safe. I've always felt very safe, no matter where I was in the country. And I trust the government and the army and the National Guard to do their job, and they do an excellent job. So when you're looking at a situation from the outside in, it's, you know, you understand what you see on television, what the news broadcast is, you know, is presenting. But when you're living in a space, in a city, in an area, it all kind of diminishes. So I just want to share that with you, that you haven't gotten to that, you know, to your area yet, but once you're there, you'll understand. And I know you're going to feel safe, and hopefully you'll have your family relax about that. I would say that it's probably more dangerous to be in a car accident, or to, you know, I don't know, fall down a mountain, or, you know, statistically speaking, bad things happen sometimes, you know, when you have a regular life, right? Especially with Corona around and everything else that's in the world today. But I think in spite of all the political tension, it's relatively safe to be here. And also in terms of crime, it's relatively safe, okay? The news, you know, the news is the news. Things happen here and there, but it's not a general, you know, tension that you need to worry about in your day-to-day life.
Thank you very much, Ma'am.
Did I calm you down in any way?
Actually, if you read the news or you watch these things, of course you will think differently. But of course,
I agree. Don't watch the news too much. The news is, you know, I don't know how it is in the Philippines, but in, like everywhere else in the Western world, it's a private business, and they want a lot of attention. Otherwise, it's not exciting. It's not interesting. It's not, you know, wow. So
Yes, that's right.
that's their business to make it as wow as possible. You know, they don't talk about good things. They just try to find bad things and make a big wow out of it. And it's a business. So, so we can hear it, you know, once a day, no more. If something important is you need to know, you'll know about it, right?
But we know that we feel safe in Israel.
I think you will feel safe. You know, me saying it is one thing, but I think you will feel safe once once you get to the home you're going to be working at, and you'll see how everyone else behaves and how everyone else, reacts to all kinds of situations. I think you're going to feel safe. I can't imagine that you wouldn't. Okay. And if there's an issue that you find difficult to deal with, you should speak to, to the social worker or the agency or something, but I can't imagine that you wouldn't feel safe.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do you feel safe in the Philippines?
Of course, we feel safe.
You personally, you felt safe in the Philippines?
For me, of course.
Okay. Okay, that's good. That's very good. Obviously, there are no rockets threatening you, but sometimes, people live in crime areas or other, issues of the drugs, and I don't know, bad things are
agree
all
with
over
that.
the world.
Yeah,
It's not
agree.
just here. So I think you will feel safe.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anyone else like to ask a question about something else? I don't know about the specific families that you're going to be staying in, and I didn't talk at all about religious laws about Shabbat and Kashrut, which are the dietary laws and so on. In Sderot, there are many religious families, not all, but traditional. And so you will probably encounter all of these issues about dietary laws, what this family, needs. And I said this before and I say it again. Don't be insulted if they ask you not to put food that you're bringing into the home with theirs, or use their utensils and so on. The kitchen is a very sensitive place for Jewish people altogether, and for everyone, right? All the ladies and men that have a kitchen, this is a very kind of a sacred place, the way that you do things and so on. So be respectful of that. Don't be insulted. Until they trust you to do things the way they ask you to do, they may be standoffish about, allowing you to be in that space. But you'll learn what needs to be done and you'll do it properly, and it shouldn't be an issue, right? But you just have to know that it is a sensitive issue for people that follow certain dietary laws, not to mix meat and milk, and not to bring in things that are not kosher into the home and so on. Okay, you all know about all of that, right? You've heard about these issues in Israel. Anyone have any other concerns or questions about anything at all? Okay, guys, thank you for sharing and being open and talking about issues that are concerning you. And we will meet again on tomorrow, I think at 4 o'clock, for the final meeting with Anat. She isn't able to join us for today. So if you have any questions or anything that you think about, you can write it on the chat, and we'll respond to it tomorrow when we meet again. So thank you for now. Enjoy the rest of the day. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.